You ready to? Oh, hey, oddly enough, we just finished a tournament in California. Guess where we're heading now, Dan?
Back to the East Coast.
Hey, let's. Boston sounds nice this time of year. Let's go back to Boston. So, hey, here we go. Racking up the. I don't know. Do you get frequent flyer miles on Wheels Up and NetJets? Do they give those? I mean, what does that look like?
I guess the PGA Tour does. Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of scratching my head on that one, going like, man, what's going on here? Nevertheless. We're not heading to Boston. What am I talking about? We're heading to Connecticut. It's kind of close, I guess. But we're heading to TPC River Highlands. Oh, guess what we haven't said in the past few weeks? We're going to be playing a Pete Dye course. At least it's a Pete Dye redo. So we haven't said, I mean, I felt like there for a while. We were like every week we were on a Pete Dye course. So getting back to a Pete Dye design at TPC River Highlands, heading to the northeast coast. It's a par 70. It's going to play just shy of 6,900 yards. So, and going from one of the longest courses we see on tour, now we're heading to one of the shortest courses that we're going to see on tour. And let's see what's notable about this. So, it's hitting the fairways is going to be crucial here. I would say that, it's even though it's short, I mean, I'd say it plays well to some of the bombers. I don't think it's quite as important. I mean, well, look at Louis O, right? I mean, everybody was talking about bombers at U.S. Open, and here you go. But yeah, I think it's going to be hitting fairways. It's going to be crucial here. Approach short game around the green, right? I mean, why do we say the same thing every week? If you hit fairways and hit greens and make putts, you're going to win the golf tournament. It's that simple, right? What's going on? So potentially we got a couple drivable par fours for some of the guys on here. So I can definitely see Bryson kind of taking advantage of some of those. Maybe if he's driving the ball like he was at Torrey, then I don't really think it's going to matter. There's not a whole lot of trouble here. There's a pretty big lake in the center of this thing that they play around, so that's going to come into play. But all in all, let's take a look at the course and see. So the second hole is 333 yards. Number 9's 389. And 15 is 277 yards. It just seems unreal coming off of what they just played. But yeah, so that's kind of where we are on a course setup standpoint. The weather looks like it's going to be pretty good, so I don't think that's going to be a factor at all. But yeah, shit. Hey, why not? Hey, where do we go? Where do we go the week after this, Dan? Are we heading back to California? I'm thinking we ought to go like to Oregon or Washington. No, I know, but it's like, could we get something farther away? Detroit seems way too.
Well, if we request it, I mean, I'm sure Monahan would be like, hey, let's go back across. Let's go to Canada.
Oh.
We're joking. It's all good. It's all good. I love the change in topography and everything. So yeah.
So what happened? So last year at the Travelers Championship. So this is a course that they kind of worked it in, right? It was with the comeback of COVID. Dustin Johnson, I think it may have been he hadn't played there in a while at least, and Dustin Johnson won it last year. Let's see who our recent winners are.
This was the one where he had to take his shoes off, isn't it? I think he had to get in the lake or something.
Yeah, that's him.
I think he did. And then he just smoked some of that stuff on Sunday. He was just on fire. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, I played JT here last year, and I got smoked because he didn't make the cut.
Yeah, so so last year again, you got DJ. 19 was Reevy, Bubba Watson in 2018. And Russell Knox in 2016. So, and Bubba Watson's got a hell of a course history here. So he definitely, he kind of owns this place, man, from a setup standpoint. So let's see.
Bubba Watson? Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's run. By the way, thanks to Fantasy National. I'm looking at past 24 rounds. I did have it set up at one time on Pete Dye courses, and I said, let's just look at past 24 because when I looked at that, a lot of the folks had missed the cut at TPC. So I said, let's just go. I'm going just recent form and just looking at past 24 rounds. Then, by the way, so
sorry.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to make mention of the greens here. So we're coming off of POA at Torrey Pines, and this is a variation of POA as well. It's not West Coast POA, so it is going to play a little bit differently. But if you're into the if you're setting up your percentages and you're taking a look at putts, this would be registered as POA green. So, yeah, sorry, go ahead now.
No, so we ran into Ches at Wyndham, which is after he had won this a couple of years ago.
I know we did. It's like, hey, Ches, why aren't you riding? Why aren't you calling? All right, so let's take a look at where are we at? So, all right, so we still got some of the big boys showing up. I guess we could see some of these guys still withdraw before the tournament gets here. But what we're looking at now, is who has committed thus far. And has not withdrawn. So in the 10,000 and above, you got Bryson, Brooks, Cantlay, and P. Reed. So who do you like out of that, Dan, and who don't you like?
I'm surprised to see all these big names here, aren't you?
I am. I'm kind of thinking, DJ won it last year, so I'm thinking there's probably something to that. But yeah, I mean, prior to last year, this definitely wasn't. You didn't have this caliber of field that that they're getting now. So, but yeah, maybe it's one of those things where they keep showing up. I mean, Patrick Reed. I think this is. I think Kessler makes Patrick play this because some of the best chicken wings in the U.S. are right outside of there. So we know why Patrick Reed has to play here. It's like, hey, what's okay? We're making the schedule. Travelers Championship. Go ahead and mark it down.
Do you think Kez gets like Pat's like, okay, I'm gonna circle the ones I want to go to. Kez, you circle the ones you want to go to. Like he said, right here. Circle this one right here.
Circle it twice.
Priority one.
Circle it twice. Circle it twice.
So out of this category here, so Brooksy didn't play here last year. But I'll tell you, the ones that I like the most, of course, I think I like Koepka the most. I like Reed. I like Cantlay. Dustin last week, T19, T10 at Palmetto, missed the cut of the PGA, T48 Valspar, obviously heard his T13. He had that similar kind of track record, I think, coming into this thing last year where he just wasn't playing like the form that we had seen him play. He just lost world number one. I don't love the recent form from him. I mean, T19 and T10, what's not to love, man? Well, I don't know. He didn't seem to be in it, right? But I don't know what to expect from DJ. He could pop here like he did last year, just run and say, hey, I want to win a second FedEx Cup. I mean, he could do that. He just lost world number one, so that could be something that's kind of angered him a little bit. John Roth's not playing here. Maybe he could take it back this week. I don't think he could take it back this week. He's gone just from the major. But I like Brooks. I like Brooks the best here. Who do you like?
I kind of like Cantlay here. I mean, if I'm picking one of these guys, I think I'm taking Cantlay. I mean, he had a little run there where he was a little bit off, but, as of late, I mean, just won the Memorial. I think Cantlay's kind of back to firing on all cylinders, man. I really like where he's at, and having some challenges here with my so T11, T15, and T15 in his past three starts here. So I think Cantlay's game is really where it needs to be right now. So I think out of that group, I think I'm leaning Cantlay. I don't think you could go if I'm fading one of the folks up here. I mean, this is going to sound stupid, but won't be the last time I sound stupid today. I'm probably fading DJ. Well, I don't know. Maybe so look at DeChambeau, T6, T8, T9, T26, and T47 here. So, he's got a hell of a cut streak going. But I'm probably going to fade DJ. I mean, I think we see all, 5 of these guys. Yeah, I think we see all 5 of them make it to the weekend. Could the winner come out of there? Again, if I was kind of leaning, I'm probably leaning Cantlay out of that group.
He plays really well here. So it was T6, T8, T9, T26, T40. I think you might have just said that, but I mean, so he loves this place. I just don't know where he's going to be with his mind on that back nine yesterday. And then the other thing, too, is, remember, Rockets next week, so I'm not even sure if he plays this one. Maybe he does, but he might WD because he's going to be focused on Rocket. He's got the sponsor there. He's the past champion there. I don't know where his head's going to be this week.
Yeah, nor do I. So I mentioned about Koepka's history here. He didn't play in 2020. Oh, he had to withdraw in 2020 because of the contact tracing protocol. So he was scheduled to play, but he had to withdraw.
Oh.
Yeah, and then
the practice round he was playing and the funeral and all that stuff. Yep.
And then T57, 19, T19, 18, and T9 and 16. So I mean, all in all, he's got a good track record here too. So does P. Reed. I mean, I don't think you could really go wrong with any of those guys. I think Patrick Reed from his short game. I think that probably is if you're taking a look at why and where. I think that's probably a good spot to be. But yeah, I'm taking Cantlay out of that group. And I to be honest, I can't fade any of those folks, man.
No, you shouldn't. It's just the question is, should you take them for that price point in the DK? Now, I will say that the ownership projection on DJ is very low. It's a little below 10%, and I think just because it's like, well, we're not sure what we're going to get, and that's a lot of money to spend for somebody that pop or not pop. It doesn't matter. What to him?
Yeah, and does he care? Right? I mean, that's so the $9,000 range, I could bypass the $10,000 range and just kind of spend all my money here. A couple of folks, the first 3, I think you can't go wrong with any of those guys. All 3 had great showings at the U.S. Open. All 3 have really good track records here. Well, except for Scheffler, but that being Paul Casey and Streelman. I mean, they light this course up, man. And both of those guys played really.
Real quick, do you think Koepka's going to play next week at the Rocket?
I don't think so. No, I think Brooks got him kicked out. I mean Bryson. I think Bryson got his he got his invitation withdrawn.
That's the thing, though. Does Brooks want to go to the Rocket and try to dethrone Bryson at his own sponsors tournament? That's the kind of a Brooksy move.
Nah, I mean I could see that. Well, if he does play there, I think that's the reason he is playing there. Is just to beat him at his own tournament. I think that's that would, in my opinion, that would be the reason that he actually shows up and does that. So, $9,000. Yeah,
short range. There's only about like 4 or 5 people here, right? There's like 6 people in this range here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, out of this, I'm probably leaning. I'll give you 2, right? So Paul Casey, he's ranked 5th in strokes gained total. He's first tee to green, 2nd in ball striking, 2nd in approach. Putting is his worst category. He's ranked 71st, but he's ranked 3rd in DraftKings points. So I'm leaning Casey, and I don't know. How do you go against Ancer, man? I mean, he's ranked number 1 in strokes gained total. He is 95th around the green. I mean, and he's ranked much better than Casey is from a putting standpoint. But I mean, that's the thing that can get away from you here. I mean, no doubt. I mean, I think that but both of those guys, right, can hit fairways. I think right now, and just in form, Casey's hitting the ball a little better on the approach. So I would give him an advantage there. But yeah, I'm definitely going Casey, and then I don't know if for me if it's going to be Streelman or Ancer. It's going to be one of the 2. It's probably going to depend on money, just from a lineup perspective. But Matt Wolff, I mean, hey, based on what we saw last week, I mean, has he got the firepower to do it? I don't know where his head's at. He said he didn't know where his head was at. So, yeah, questionable there.
For me, it's all Streelman. I think, like Kez, we talked about Kez, circles this tournament for the chicken wings. Streelman circles this tournament right here. He absolutely loves this track. I've not heard him say this, but that's what I can watch them play here and just his manners and everything. It's like, I think this is his favorite track on tour. He loves it. I remember watching this last year. He's like looking at the trophy. He wanted to kiss that trophy. I mean, this is his setup course. Streelman for me over Ancer here. That's just because of how much he loves it and how well he plays here.
Yeah, second in 2020.
And recent form. Recent form's been great too.
Yeah, T15 and 19, T33 and 18, and T8 and 17. So definitely his kind of place. And then, so you got Ancer here. That's T11 and T8. Who am I fading in this group? I'm probably fading Matthew Wolff. He did miss the cut last year, T80 and 19. I don't know, man. I just don't know what we're going to see. I mean, he played, he had a few good days at the Open. Definitely a different golf course out there. So, just for me, I got to see I got to see some more reps before I get back on. I'm putting any money down on Wolff. And the other guy I'm fading, Tony Finau, which, everybody was high on Finau last week, but, he's missed 2 straight cuts here. And, last week wasn't much better. So that's a fade for me for Finau.
I made some money on Wolff last week, man. I put him in a lot of lineups.
I had him in a few too. Yeah. I mean, but
he's an interesting play.
Yeah, but from a strokes game perspective, I mean, you can't really look at anything and get any numbers off of it, because everything that you see, he's ranked 150 around the green, 117 in short game, 126 in strokes gained tee to green, 90 strokes gained total. So you really can't. I mean, putting, for what it's worth, is his best category, ranked 29th. So I don't think you can really look at any stats on Matt Wolff. I think you can look at what he did last year or what he did last week, and then take into consideration. I don't even know if you can take into consideration what he did up to that point. So I don't know. I'm kind of gonna waver there on that one. So
the Wolff, man, he's so good that his ownership is projected right now to be at 4.1%. I think he's worth some plays and some lineups. I expect him to bounce. I mean, so he kind of got in a funk there where he hurt his hand, and then he had the mental issues or whatnot. But this guy's a hell of a ball striker. The model here's got him ranked 130th in this field. And I'm like, this guy's a top 10 guy here for sure.
Yep, potential. All right, $8,000. A few people that I like. We just mentioned Bubba Watson. I mean, that dude's a machine at this golf course. Let's see, Bubba Watson. Talk to me, Bubba. He did miss the cut here last year, T54. He won it in 18, missed the cut in 17, T25. Just looking at the past 5 years. But, I mean, he always plays well here. And he had a pretty good showing. Where did Bubba come in at the Open? Yeah, scratch that. Did not have a good showing. T50th, yeah. So he had a good Friday. That was about it.
He was on TV a lot. How about that?
He had a lot of TV time. I do like Brian Harman here. I think that's a solid play. I mean, so Brian Harman last week, just from a recent form perspective, 19th at the U.S. Open, 8th at the Schwab. Let's see, 18th Wells Fargo, 13th at RBC, 3rd at the Players. So again, if you're looking at people that like Pete Dye courses, he's placed well this year. So I think he's probably a pretty good play for me. Again, Brian Harman did miss the cut last year. T8 and 19, T6, 18, and T35 and 17. So for me, out of this group, I'm probably going Harman and Hoffman. I kind of like where Hoffman's at right now, man. It didn't really show it last week. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but 57th at the Open, 57th Memorial, 3rd at the Schwab, 17th PGA, 18th Valspar, 18 RBC, 2nd at Valero, 17th at the Players. So once again, somebody that really I think his game sets up well for Pete Dye track. So that's a couple that I like. And see if anybody, Cam Smith.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I like Harmon as well, in terms of, all the things you just said about him, so I don't have to go through that again. But the other guy that I would pick, if I'm picking two in this category, would be Harris English. And he's been popping a lot lately, so he was third at the U.S. Open,
Yeah.
T14 at Palmetto. He was right there in the mix at Palmetto. You remember that? And, and then T13 at Byron Nelson. So he was T64 at PGA. That's a very tough course. We saw a lot of people struggle there, but he's been popping a lot here. Fantasy's got him at 19th in the model. He's I like him here at $8,200.
Well, he didn't. So Harris didn't play here last year. T71 and 19, and then 2 back-to-back cuts. But I think we're looking at a completely different Harris English this year than any of his previous years, 17, 18, or 19, playing at this tournament. So I don't disagree that I think Harris English is a solid play. The one guy that I will expect that he's going to get a lot of play. We definitely had a lot of folks that picked him to win in our bourbon giveaway. But, so he's got back-to-back missed cuts here. That's Cam Smith and a T34 in 2016. So a little surprised about that one. I don't know where Rosie's at. Generally speaking, I would expect him to be a Pete Dye golf course aficionado. But, I'm probably not going for Justin Rose either.
What do you think about the Cam Smith? Because we've been hot on Cam Smith for 3 months, right? Is he done now? I mean, is it time to fade him? Because you couldn't go away from him since, I guess, he started seeing him really kind of turn the heat on at the November Masters, and then he carried it all the way through. But what do you think now? I mean, we're just seeing this recent form has not been good. It's similar to some other guys we talked about quite a bit, and now we're starting to fade or whatnot. But what are your thoughts there?
Well, I hear there's some good fishing up there.
I know, right? Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, again, just based on track record, what's happening here, I'm fading him this week. I need to see a little bit of a comeback before I get back on the Cam Smith wagon. So. Hey, here's another guy, right? So Russell Henley, can you put any stock in him? T32 last year, missed a cut in 19, T6 in 18, T11 in 16. So, all in all, I think he's got a decent track record here. I mean, and what we saw out of him last week at the U.S. Open, I mean, holy shit, it's like, hey, here we go. We got a new U.S. Open champion. We did. It just wasn't Russell Henley. So I don't know. Is he going to have a little bit of a hangover, a little major hangover coming into this thing and not be able to rebound? I don't know. I'm probably not going to roll the dice there again. So out of the 8,000, I'm a Harmon guy, and I'm a Harmon and a Hoffman guy here.
I'm Harmon. I'm English, and it's Harmon and English, and then here for a second. Yep, those are the two I like there. Yeah.
So the $7,000 range. Do you think Phil's tired yet, or do you think that coffee for wellness has got him jacked?
I think he's tired. This is a lot in a row, right? Oh, he took a week off before.
He took a week off in between, but I mean, still, you got two majors in a very, very short time frame. You won one, you played through the weekend on the other one, so I'm thinking he's tired. It wouldn't surprise me to see him withdraw. I don't know that he will, but he's a big fade for me in this category. Keegan Bradley, hometown guy.
Wasn't he the first round leader last year? Wasn't he the first round leader here last year?
He may have been. I don't know. You have to tell me that one. He was T24, missed a cut in 19, but he finished T24. So again, hey, this
might have been. That's probably why he's playing.
This is a place where fairways are a premium, and I don't think he's going to get the luxuries that he had at Kiowa. From that link style setup. So I don't know if that's going to bode well. Who do I like here? Keegan Bradley, hometown guy. He did miss the cut in 20, T2 in 19, T47 18, T8 17, and T25 in 2016. So I think it's kind of hard to get away from Keegan. He's had a little time off, so he should be rested. This thing is loaded, man. Kevin Na, I think, is probably a decent play here. Solo fifth in 2020. I mean, again, I don't think anybody's going to have a real advantage from, the from the placement guys to the bomber guys. I mean, I say that, I guess everybody kind of does, but I think that Nas got just as good a chance to make the weekend as anybody else does. Who else is in here that we kind of like? We're going to see Jason Day back again. I don't know where his game is. We'll see. Bucky's showing up. Guess who? You got Stuart Sink, and just below him at $7,300, Bucky Fowler. He may have taken our advice, man. Maybe he's back on he's following Stuart Sink's calendar now.
Well, he didn't play last week as he didn't qualify. And he's got Rocket next week, which is his big old sponsor. So he's got to practice.
Practice. I don't know, man. I think we could see. I feel like Ricky's past few outings, he's been in pretty good form. 11th at the Memorial, 8th at the PGA. He missed back-to-back cuts, but then you got 17th at the Valero, so missed a cut at the Players. But nevertheless, I mean, generally speaking, he's a pretty good Pete Dye player. So I think I'm going to put Fowler in a few lineups, man. I think I don't know that anyone else. What's his projected? Where's he projected at? Can you see that?
Yeah. Fowler is at 10.1%.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think he'll go in a lineup or two. He ain't gonna. Hey, I'm not gonna put any hard money down on him. That's for sure. But yeah, I think we may. I think we could see things turning around for him. Who else? Stuart Sink. So he missed the cut.
I played. Hold on. I played Rick at the Memorial as my one and done, and I got T8 out of him. Of course, I'm on the bandwagon. I'm picking on him about the whole Rocket business next week and just kind of having fun with it or whatnot. But I'm 100% believe he is back, and I think one of the biggest things for him was that you and I didn't consider was the lack of fans. I think he has that Rory complex in terms of just,
it could be.
There was nobody out there just by himself, and there's a lot of people are really cheer for him when he's on the course, and you can hear it when you watch him. And the fans are out there; if they pick him up and they help him out, so I think he's back for sure.
Could very well be. I like him. I'm going to play. I'm probably going to be pretty heavy on him this week. So I think there's something there. I think this course will set up well for him. The putter kind of was back on for him. So we'll see. Stuart Sink, is he tired? Holy shit. I feel like he's been playing a hell of a lot of golf, man. But I mean, so Stuart Sink missed a cut here last year, didn't play in 19, T2 and 18. And he just won Harbortown this year. So, I mean, the course is going to play similar to that. And, Sink's been owning those golf courses. So I don't know that I can really go away from him. Can I? I mean, I can, but I don't know if it makes any sense to you.
You can't. I think you got to play him.
Let's see. Who are we steering clear of here? That's the question.
Let me tell you who I like first. Hold on.
Yeah, sorry.
Hold on.
Oh, I thought you liked everybody.
I do. I like all those people. But the other one, too, I don't think you mentioned Doc. And Doc's been back on the tear again. So he was T9 at Byron Nelson, T59 at Schwab, T42 Memorial, and back to T2 at Palmetto. So I'm definitely playing Doc this week. He's at $7,600, 9.3% projected ownership. But, again, and then last year,
T11.
T11.
I was going to mention Doc, but I knew you'd be upset because I knew how you wanted to mention Doc.
There, we got him in there. Who are you going to fade?
Let's see. Rafa Cabrera-Bayo, he's a fade for me. And there's plenty of fades. I'm probably fading my man Sneds this week. Even though he's got a decent track record here, I don't know what's going on with his game, so I'm probably fading him. Who's anybody else? Probably those. I'm going to stick for Maverick McNeely. I don't see any course history here for him, so he's probably a fade. Eric Van Rooyen's probably a fade for me. Emiliano Grillo's could be a play. He's got a solid track record. Two T60s, T19 and T43. Brendan Steele. I think that's another guy coming in recent form, looks really good right now. You got a T6 here last year, T21, missed cut in 18, but then T14 and T17. So, if you're scratching around in which I have been on a lot of my, I went heavy on the $9,000 range. So I spent a lot of time in the $7,000 range. So I think Steele's probably a pretty good option here as well.
Mackenzie Hughes played really well last week. He might be still popping here.
Hey, that guy too, man. T3 here last year, T51, T42, and T17. I'm heavy on him this week, man. I like what I saw. It's going to be a completely different course, completely different setup, completely different field. So I think that's going to take some of that pressure off. I definitely like his chances to make the cut this week.
Yep.
Who else? Ches Reavie, recent winner. Won this in 2019, T46 in 2020, T43 in 17, T47 in 16. So probably not a bad option there. And I don't know, anybody in the $6,000 range that you just want to call out specifically?
Let's see.
I didn't have to get in there too much. In the lineups that I've set so far, Harry Higgs at $6,500. When you going to get him that cheap again? He did miss.
Hey, one second though, before we go to 6,000.
Yeah.
Before we go to 6,000, you didn't talk about what are you doing with Higo this week?
Well, I think a lot of folks are going to be. I would expect him to be pretty heavy chalk. I don't know. I may stick him in if I can spare, but I think there's a lot of other good options. I'm looking for him. What's his price tag?
Like 7,900, I think, something like that.
Yeah, 7,900. No course history here. The win a couple of weeks ago, I'm not taking it away from him that he won it. I think that a lot of other people lost that golf tournament. Now, granted, he had to put himself in the position to let the other people fall around him, which he did. But at 7,900, I mean, I'm definitely taking Bradley over him. Maybe even the Sauce Man. Sam Burns burned me a couple of weeks ago, so I'm just sour about that one, but I could get over it. So I don't know. I mean, is it worth rolling the dice? Maybe. He is not going to be heavy in my lineups. I may sprinkle a light dusting of Higo. Just a hint of Higo.
With Phil.
Just a hint of Higo.
I like that. I hope that pair him with Phil so we get the shades on shades.
Oh yeah. That wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Anybody else you want to call out in the $7,000 range?
I'm not seeing anybody down here that really kind of blows me away. Like, I've got to play this guy. Adam Long's made the last couple cuts. He's T26 at Memorial, T20 at Schwab, 99th in model ranking on Family International. So, not great.
I don't know. You got Stricker back again. Look at Stricker Waste Management.
Maybe our buddy Swafford. He was T2 at Palmetto, T62 at Memorial, T45 at Schwab. So he's been pretty good form recently.
Yeah, he did.
He a little bit down here.
Yeah, Swafford missed the cut last year, but T66 and 17, T38 and 16. So yeah, maybe. Ryan Armour has a good showing. He likes this track. T6 last year, T54 and T56. I think it's going to be hard to get. What would this be? 4 in a row out of him. So I don't know. He may be a little tired. So that's one thing to consider there. Who else is down here? That's again, I didn't have to go that deep. Kevin Tway, he missed a cut last year, but T5 and 19, T6 and 18, T43 and 17. If you got to go, I don't think you have to go that low. Again, unless you're just really, really, really going top heavy. I mean, there's so many good players in that $7,000 to $9,000 range.
Where did Homeless Hubs? He was T37 here last year, and he's actually been on a pretty good cut streak. So T57 at Palmetto, T42 at Memorial, T69 at Charles Schwab, T34 at Byron Nelson. Those are his last 4 starts. 1% ownership projection, $6,600. So if you're looking for somebody, I remember watching him here last year, I think, and he seemed to like the course. So yeah.
Yeah. All right, Danny, that does it for me, bud. Let's go to our one and dones. I got to think about who I have and haven't picked is what I have to do.
Oh boy, let me get the list up.
I think
thought you were going to be prepared. I see you're not prepared. All you did was go to Kentucky and shop for bourbon.
I was busy drinking, Dan. I was busy drinking. Give me a break. I got a reputation to uphold. Yours. No, I know who I'm going to pick as long as I haven't picked him before. I just don't know if I got him on the list. Paul Casey. I don't think I've used Paul.
I think you have. Yeah, use Paul at the Masters.
Shit. All right, well then you go ahead.
I got Streelman.
Damn it. That takes my guy.
I love Streelman here.
Have I played Cantlay?
You've already played Streelman too. You played Streelman as well. I checked. You played Streelman.
I don't think I played Cantlay.
Yeah, you played Cantlay players. You played Streelman at Pebble Beach.
You're really killing me here, man.
Running low here.
Give me shit. I just dogged him out too. Give me Abe Ancer. I'll take Abe.
You just played him, didn't you?
The Tequila Man. I don't remember.
Yeah, you played him at Amex. Yes.
God. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
No wonder you're leading. You played all the good guys already.
Okay. I know I haven't played this guy. I know I haven't played him. Give me Brian Harman. Now, if you tell me I play Brian Harman, I'm calling bullshit. Because I know I haven't played him.
All right. I don't think you played Brian Harman.
No. I mean, at least I get a T5 out of the guy.
You played Brian Harman. No, you
There's no way. There's no way I played Brian Harman. I would have never played Brian Harman. Yeah, that's a good
play though, actually.
Yeah, well, no, yeah. I think Streelman's really good. Well, I think Cantlay, my pick to win is actually going to be Cantlay. That's well, I don't know. It's good. It's going to be between Cantlay and Streelman, I think, or Paul Casey. I think those three. I think that the winner is going to come out of those three people. So I know I've definitely ruined my reputation at that point, and somebody's got to do it. Why not do it yourself?
There you go. Perfect, man.
All good. So, by the way, did you take the lead in our one and done, or I'm still up, right?
I just regained the $400,000 I lost the week before at Palmetto is what I did. So, yeah.
I was just checking. I just wanted to clarify. And when Brian Harman, the dark horse, pulls out this W this week, woo! We may have to reset the clocks.
Exactly. We may have to reset the clock.
Hey, thanks everybody for listening.
Give me a booster.
Right, exactly. It'll be time to revisit. But thanks everybody for listening. We greatly appreciate it. Thanks to those of you that participated in our bourbon giveaway. By the way, just so you know, I did post it, so it's not a secret about who won that. Let's see. Who did win that? In case you know her, you maybe head over for a drink. So it was Summer of Claire actually won a bottle of our Old Elk Barrel pick, the U.S. Open pick. Stay tuned. We will have another pick coming out for the Open. It's probably going to release in August, I believe. So we're excited about that one. We've had great responses to all the picks that have come out so far. So we're looking forward to releasing the Open pick. Other than that, get out and play some golf, man. The weather's fantastic. Hope it is. It is here at least. I hope it is there. Pour yourself a bourbon, not too many. And check us out on our socials at Birdies_Bourbon. And we got a lot of good stuff coming up got a lot of spirits folks coming up. I'm in the spirit world. Let's see. We got some good golf guests coming on as well. So yeah, stay tuned to that. And until next time, Dan. Cheers.